I'm tough. I'm strong. I'm a football player. In class, I'm not thinking about some guy building some cabin on some lake, trying to figure out life. No, I do chemistry. Molecules, hydrocarbons, fermentation, solubility, like
chemistry. Such a load of crap. I bet it's all made up. None of this can possibly be true. Why can't we describe everything in a nice, creative myth? I can't think of anyone who likes it. Except my chemistry teacher. He likes it. He's a schmuck.
You know, I think a person should be pretty well-rounded. About 95% football, 5% chemist. Oh, wait a second. I left out women.
I'm really mystified. This guy behind me in class, he aces all the quizzes. And what he writes for lab conclusions, well, it isn't BS. It actually means something. And the thing is, he's a football player.
You know, football players get all the girls. You know, cheerleaders. But there's this one girl. She's not a cheerleader, but she's really beautiful. Like, naturally beautiful. She has this long, shiny blonde hair. It's real soft. I love to touch it and mess it up and call it ugly, just so she'll turn around with some sharp comeback.
Jerk.
And then I can see her eyes. I don't think she'd turn around if I said something nice. She just wouldn't believe me.
He's really annoying. He's always tying my hairs in knots. Here's a square knot. Oh, shucks, only a granny. And he'll pull out a strand and say, ew, greasy. Sometimes I lean back and shake it all over his desk just to be obnoxious. He goes on and on about football. I didn't know you could say so much about it.
You know, she's pretty smart. And I could be in her class if I wanted to. Really, I passed the placement test. But I wouldn't have time for football if I took all those hard classes. But then I would get to see her more often.
He thinks that I'm this big nerd because I take advanced classes. Football, that's his whole life. And oh yeah, chemistry.
She'd never want to go out with me. She probably thinks all I ever think about is football.
Me and a football player? What would we ever talk about? He does have a nice smile.
Nah, stick to cheerleaders.
Maybe he thinks he has to act stupid because he's on the football team. Doesn't he realize that we don't have to follow these signs? Doesn't he realize that these signs, these billboards, have been created by hypocrites who think they know better?
And the sign said long-haired cricket people need not apply. So I tucked my hair up under my hat and I went in to ask him why. He said, you look like a fine, upstanding young man. I think he'll do. So I took off my hat, said, imagine that, me working for you.
Sign, sign, everywhere, sign, blocking up the scenery, breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that, can't you read the sign?
And the sign said anybody caught trespassing will be shot on sight. So I jumped on the fence and I yelled at the house, hey, what gives you the right to put up a fence to keep me out or to keep Mother Nature in? If God was here, he'd tell you to your face, man, you're some kind of sinner.
Sign, sign, everywhere, sign, blocking up the scenery, breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that, can't you read the sign?
Now, hey there, Mr. Can't you read? You got to have a shirt and tie to get a seat. No, you can't wash, no, you can't eat. You ain't supposed to be here. And the sign said you got to have a the membership hard to get inside. The sun said everybody walked and get down and pray. But when they passed around the plate at the end of it all, I didn't have a penny to pay. So I got me a pen and paper, and I made up my own little sign. It said,
Thank you, Lord, for thinking about me. I'm alive and I'm living fine. Sign, sign, everywhere sign. Looking at the scenery, breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that, can't you read the sign? Sign, sign, everywhere sign. Looking at the scenery, breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that, can't you read the sign?
Pat, this is real hard for me to say, but we've been going steady now for about 5 months. How many? Okay, 4. Like I was saying. We've been going steady now for about 4 months, and it's really neat, and you're a really nice guy, and I really like you a lot, okay? Yeah, sure, I know you like me too, I know that. But let me finish. Like, we've been seeing each other and nobody else all the time, okay? We're always together. Always. What I mean is, what I'm trying to say is that maybe we're tying ourselves down too much. And that isn't fair for someone like you, who's real cute, and would probably like to date a bunch of other girls before having to feel obligated to just one. What I'm trying to say is that maybe we should think about not going steady anymore. Now, I know what you're going to say, but don't get the idea, and I'm trying to... What? You what? It's okay with you? Just like that, it's okay with you. I mean, I barely get it out of my mouth and it's all right with you? Wow, I get it. Catherine Anderson, right? Oh, don't give me that. You've been waiting for a chance to break up with me so you can start dating that jerk Catherine Anderson because their father owns a Honda dealership. It's so easy for you, and just after 3 months, too. Okay, 4. I don't believe this. I don't. You? No, you don't. No, you're just saying that. You really like me that much? Honest? Sure, of course I like you too. Break up? Who said anything about breaking up? All I was saying is that maybe you felt tied down, that's all. I mean, I was only thinking of you. I was just trying to give you a way out. Sure, I want to keep going steady. You do? Me too. Meet you later like always? Good. Oh, and about Catherine Anderson. My dad says everything her father owns is on paper.
When I was a little girl, I used to watch a lot of Disney movies. All little kids do, I guess. These movies made love seem so simple, so easy. The princess meets the prince. They fall in love at first sight, date for like 3 days, get married, and live happily ever after. Sure, there's usually some villain or another thrown in to keep things interesting, but the rest of the story is always the same. You know, for a long time, I thought relationships were really like that. When I grew up, my Prince Charming would come and sweep me off my glass-slippered feet, and that would be that. Happily ever after. I know better now. Love isn't simple or easy. It's complicated, confusing, and difficult. It doesn't always end in happily ever after. Because people lie and cheat and fall out of love, and half of all marriages end in divorce. At school, we have assemblies about abusive relationships, because sometimes what seems to be a handsome prince on the outside turns out to be an ogre on the inside, who hurts the ones he's supposed to love. All my classmates have started dating, and a lot of them have already had their hearts broken. I hear about this stuff all the time, and I see how much it hurts. I don't know whether I want a boyfriend or not. It seems wonderful to be in love, but painful too. It's all very confusing to me. But I think I have to take a chance sooner or later. Otherwise, how will I ever know? There is this one boy. He's a real Prince Charming. Nice, funny, smart, totally hot. But he's already found his princess. Why can't he see that she's just a witch in disguise? But in the real world, there's no magic spell to make him notice me instead. I know that some people find true love, but it's never as quick and easy as in the movies. People aren't perfect. They get angry and scared, and they make mistakes. Real life relationships take hard work. You have to be willing to sacrifice, at least. That's what I've heard. It's not like I have any experience after all. You know, I sometimes wish I could recapture that childhood faith in love at first sight and in happy ever afters, but the older I get, the harder it becomes to believe in fairy tales.
This is for all the lonely people.